The short-term solution would be putting a chemical in there that over time can deteriorate and erode your plumbing system.
This is the Check-A-Pro Radio Show. Check-A-Pro Joe has assembled a team of pre-qualified home service contractors to bring you the latest in services, products, and techniques. Now, here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Check-A-Pro Joe.
We see the ads all the time on TV, these drain cleaners that come out of a bottle. You don't need plungers, you don't need snakes. All you need is a chemical drain cleaner. Well, I've got a question for an expert here. His name is Bob Muller. He is the owner of Personal Plumbing. And I'm going to ask Bob in a moment, is it safe to use chemical drain cleaners? A lot of us have this under our sink. We have it in a closet somewhere. Some of us have used it with success and many without success. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Doing great, Joe. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the program today. Everybody knows what we're talking about, these chemical drain cleaners. They're marketed to us a lot. Last I heard, most plumbers aren't really fond of them. Tell us a little bit about the safety of using chemical drain cleaners.
So the short answer to this is yes, in most cases they are safe. That doesn't mean that I recommend them. Most of the companies these days have made these chemicals so that they're less harmful to the environment and they're less harmful to your plumbing system, but that doesn't mean that they're not something that will not eventually deteriorate your plumbing issues. So if you're having a plumbing issue in the house, the answer is not to be able to take care of your immediate problem with a short-term solution. The short-term solution would be putting a chemical in there that over time can deteriorate and erode your plumbing system. Probably won't deteriorate it immediately, but if it's something that you continue to use and depending on the age and condition of your pipes, it could pose an immediate problem. So it really depends on the age and condition of the plumbing system you're using these chemicals in. Probably a newer home, it's not going to affect it as much, but your older home, especially your cast iron drains, I do not recommend you put that inside there, period.
So if people aren't doing this themselves, a DIYer with a chemical drain cleaner, they should really be calling Bob and his team at Personal Plumbing, because you guys need to be real careful if the plumbing is old, but you guys have the equipment and the experience to go in there to clear the drain without breaking the pipes.
Yes, that's true. And we definitely, as a professional plumbing company, have those services. But if you are in a pinch and you're potentially one of those people that will pick up a chemical to try to clear your drain, I would say that instead of having a chemical at your house, I would say, there's many great products that you can pick up at your local hardware store these days, which is, more of the air type guns that they have these days, that you can send kinetic air into the fixture, and that will break up your clog pretty quickly and way more effectively than a chemical, and that will usually get your drain moving, and then you need to call in the plumber to find out what your actual issue is. And that, that would be my advice. Use the air type guns these days. They work way more effective.
Air much better than chemicals. And then don't forget, after you get this thing cleared out, you got to figure out why this keeps happening. And you can contact
Absolutely.
Bob and his team at Personal Plumbing. All his information is in the podcast description. Bob, thank you so much for your time and your great advice. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Check-A-Pro is your local source for pre-qualified contractors. Stay tuned for more of the Check-A-Pro Radio Show.